on the east side, shaking, tweaking, hope that
Welcome everyone to the Way Out Recovery Hour, another wonderful Monday. I'm Bob Sheritz with the Way Out. We are intensive outpatient for adolescents, adults, and their families. Primarily substance use disorder, but we all know that there are many, many other issues that accompany substance use. And so, but we are a substance use treatment facility located on the corner of Plum and Bouquet. And our phone number is 661-296-4444. Please visit our wonderful website at thewayoutrocoveryscv.com. And remember, give yourselves a break and ask for help. Remember that asking for help is the first step. And, you know, if you don't reach out to us, reach out to somebody. There's got to be somebody in your life that you trust, whether it is your pastor or the police officer or your teacher or your family members, but somebody in your life. Reach out to somebody and ask for help, and it all begins there, and we can really take an opportunity to change our lives. You know, every Monday I come in here and I talk about Monday because for a lot of people it's a really difficult day. You know, we look at this big daunting week and go, oh my God, it's Monday. I have made a choice a long time ago to not do that. I try to look at every day with gratitude and opportunity, and I really believe that this is a wonderful, beautiful world. And I'm not just saying that because I'm into the recovery process. I'm saying that because I hope to spread that message right there, that we live in this big, beautiful world with so many opportunities to get in touch with ourselves, to get in touch with others, to just live these big spiritual lives. So take a moment and think about what you can be grateful for. Think about this beautiful week that is in front of us. Think about all the opportunities that we have to connect with other people, to help each other, and to really improve ourselves and our connection in the world. You know, I'm really excited about today's show. We have a guest in studio with us today that is, you know, you have Dr. Elena Michaels. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Bob.
You have, you know, you and I have only just met maybe a couple of months ago. We did a provider luncheon, and you showed up, and we have some mutual friends that were probably mutual clients. And but I'll tell you, long before I ever met you, you have this wonderful reputation that follows you. You know, Arthur Mogilevsky at Valley Recovery Center. You know, when he was talking about some events and some stuff that's coming up, he says, and I don't know if he says this to you, but he says the one and only
Wow.
Dr. Elena Michaels,
Wow.
right? And no pressure on the show today, of course, but what a wonderful gift for us to have you on the show today.
Thank you so much. It's nice to be here.
Well, we have, so what we are going to look at is something that you've been doing for many years, is really practicing giving and the art of holistic healing.
Right, right.
And so, you know, it's awesome because we, you know, at our treatment facility, a very brief history, you know, Mark and I sat in some rooms with a group of people trying to heal different areas of our lives many years ago, you know, and probably about 5 years ago, I think Mark and I and Brenda Way, who's our clinical director, started having this conversation that kind of sounded like wouldn't it be nice if we could, and then whatever that looked like, if we could open a place, if we could provide, you know, help to others in the community. And about maybe a year and a half ago, Mark came and said, let's get serious about this. And so it became this wonderful thing. But in the planning of this treatment facility, we said to ourselves, we know what works, some of what works, and we know, so there are some models for excellent treatment modalities, and there are some models for not so good treatment modalities. And so we looked at everything, and we decided to really try to offer the community of Santa Clarita something that was a more compassionate, more gentle, more holistic, more maybe safe and healing environment. And so when we created the Way Out, we decided that we would implement a lot of these practices that I think you've been doing for a lot of years, but some of ours, things like mindfulness, meditation, we do outdoor activities, we employ rhythm therapy, so health rhythms, and drumming and stuff like that. And we have watched in the 5 months that we've been open, we've watched some of our participants really respond well to that. Now, you've been practicing holistic approaches for how many years?
Well, I've been in Santa Clarita since 1991, practicing since 1991. I was doing it before then, and I also had an office in the Valley. I had an office, I saw people in Northridge. But then I just decided I just wanted to stay in the Valley, so I just wanted to stay here. So I just had my practice here from 1991 until now. And I've been, even as a kid, I was really interested in holistic things. And after I got my initial partying days done, after the first experience of being in college, I was sitting around reading herbal books and reading all kinds of details on natural healing while my friends were out partying and drinking and getting high and doing whatever they were doing. And I was at home obsessed for hours studying on end these things. I don't know where it came from. It was just kind of a part of my journey, a part of my preordained destiny, I guess. I've always been interested in that. And I was in the entertainment business for a long time, too. I worked in the entertainment business as an actress. I worked at an agency. I worked as a manager. I worked as an acting coach. I still am involved in the entertainment business to some degree. But I always kind of had this teaching, counseling kind of thing going on. And it's very rewarding, and it's very empowering, and it's very exciting to see someone access the best parts of themselves and get out of their own way and to access their, whatever you want to call it, higher self, universal self, whatever, and allow that to guide them to move toward positive outcome. It's a very exciting thing to turn people onto themselves, and that's what I like to do. And I think it has to be done in a holistic way because we're holistic beings. We're not just bodies walking around here. We have a physical, a mental, an emotional, and a spiritual part of ourselves. And I think in recovery that my perception and my perspective is that all of those things need to be addressed. I'm sure people who have become sober and then fallen off the wagon, and people who have gone to rehab and then they start using again. And so some of those rates are a little disappointing to see, the relapse rates. And I think that looking and working in a spiritual perspective and a physical, emotional perspective and mental perspective all at the same time and simultaneously is the way to the greatest success.
I would agree wholeheartedly. I think it's interesting. I think one of the obstacles that we face is I think maybe it's mostly in the country that we live in, but certainly there are parts of the world where it's almost like the biggest obstacle we face is modern day medicine. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean.
It's like we live in a society where I have a problem and I want it fixed right now
with a pill,
and I don't want to do any work.
That's right. Well, when people come to see me, I make it very clear, and I actually have intake forms that they understand and they sign that they are responsible for their healing and recovery.
Right.
I'm not responsible for it. I'm just the guide on the path. I'm just the person that helps them go down the road and supports them and shows them things that maybe they haven't seen before and educates them so that they can become a master of their life instead of a victim of their life. But because I'm a naturopathic doctor also as well. By the way, I'm a naturopathic doctor. You were going to ask me anyway.
So naturopathic doctor, explain that.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm a naturopathic doctor. I do functional medicine. I'm a licensed psychotherapist. I'm a clinical hypnotherapist. Okay, so what's naturopathic medicine and what's functional medicine, right? Okay. Naturopathic medicine, naturopathic healthcare is, imagine a big umbrella. Underneath the umbrella, you have lifestyle modification, nutritional intervention, herbs, homeopathics, mindfulness, meditation, all kinds of things. Naturopathy is about finding the underlying cause, and this is also functional medicine. Functional medicine finds the underlying cause that is creating the disturbing symptom. So, for example, if you're getting headaches all the time, you could go see a regular allopathic traditional doctor and get a medication for headaches. Or my question,
Where's
and the
it
way
com-
I work,
where's
is
it coming
why
from?
are
Right?
you getting the headaches?
Right, yeah.
Why don't we just figure out why? And then when we resolve that, a lot of other things resolve too. Oh, what about that pain in your back? Oh, what about the fact that you get sick all the time? Oh, those things resolve too. Because when you work down, you keep going lower, 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 lower. What's the cause? What's the cause? What's the cause of that? And I have ways when I work with people in my office that I can figure out the highest priority issue that we need to address, and the others often resolve after we address that one, because we're, our bodies speak to us all the time. Our bodies don't speak English.
Well, and they have a natural capacity for healing on their own
They
if we
do.
take the poisons away, right?
That's right, if we get out of our own way.
That's right.
That's right. And so because we have the natural capacity to heal, we have to get out of our own way, and so many things that people come into my office and think they are doing to help them isn't helping them.
Got it.
Because
Got it.
most of the people that come to see me are educated, they're intelligent, they may have done internet research, they may have tried to figure out what's going on, why they're having those symptoms, if they're coming for a health issue. If they're coming for a counseling mental health issue, it's different. But if they come for a health issue, they've usually been diagnosed with something they're trying to figure out. So they've done some
Well,
research.
and although it is different, those things are so interrelated. If physically
Totally.
I'm not feeling well, emotionally I'm probably not
That's
going to
right.
be feeling well either, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
You can't feel optimistic, upbeat, and positive if you're in pain,
Right.
or you have GI issues, or you're dealing with some impending diagnosis of a heavy due
I
to
think
health
that's
situation.
one of the most difficult, maybe difficult isn't the right word, one of the most, I'll use difficult, clients that we work with are the ones who have like chronic pain issues that have been dealing with it for so long, but yet they also have addiction issues and they're just tired of being in pain.
Yeah.
They're just so tired, just life is daunting,
Right,
Yeah.
right. Well, there's different kinds of pain, and like I said, the body is trying to talk to us all the time, is trying to communicate. We have to pick up the signs. We have to try and understand what our bodies are trying to tell us. When we're feeling a lot of pain, there's a reason. Where is the pain? When did the pain start? When does the pain get worse? When does the pain get better? Is it constant? What kind of things contribute to that? There's always something, and it's a matter of looking deeper, 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 instead of just, oh, here's a nice drug for the pain you have, because all drugs have side effects. Mm-hmm. All drugs have side effects. Right. And I'm not against drugs. Sometimes people will come in and they'll say, well, Dr. Elena, I'm on this, and do I have to not take this and just take herbs? No. I come from a family of doctors, traditional doctors. I'm not against medication. I'm not against doctors. I'm not against going to the hospital. But traditional medicine, allopathic medicine, does not treat chronic issues. It's very good for acute. You're in a car accident, you break a leg, go to the ER,
Right.
Get in an
Right.
ambulance. But if you've had long-term chronic, oh, I've had these headaches since I was 8 years old. Oh, I've had this pain in my back. Or, oh, I've had this GI stuff since I was in college, or whatever. Those are long-term chronic things. And allopathic traditional medicine only has pharmaceuticals. And most doctors are not trained in nutrition anyway. They're only trained in what medication to give you for which symptoms, which people don't realize.
Yeah, I've got a couple of stories around that. Just in terms of, my son was sick for a long time. Started showing signs of asthma when he was probably a year and a half old, but he's too young to be diagnosed with asthma. But what would happen is he'd get a little cold, and then that would turn into steroids, breathing treatments, doctor visits, all this different stuff. At about 2 years old or a little more, my wife and I decided to make some radical changes in our dietary, habits, right? For the whole
Hello?
entire family. So gluten-free vegan. And within 6 months of doing that, he wasn't going to the doctor anymore. Within 9 months of doing that, has not been sick since he's 5 years
That's
old now.
great.
He hasn't been sick at all.
That's
right?
great.
Just by dietary changes.
That's
now, that's
right.
not a catch-all for everybody.
I was just going to say,
But
I was just going to say, that's the thing that's so interesting too, is, I'll have someone come in and they'll say, well, I don't understand because my diet is perfect and I'm still having these anxiety and depression issues and I don't know what to do about it, and I wonder, is it dietary related, and I'm gluten-free.
Right.
Well, I'll tell you, I myself was gluten-free for a couple of years. Religiously, meticulously, vigilantly, but I still had some issues and I couldn't figure out what's the missing piece here. I had some physical issues that I couldn't resolve. And I had to really look into that. And the thing is that everyone is different. So for example, someone coming in saying, well, you know, I'm eating really healthy and I'm having oatmeal for breakfast because it's good for my cholesterol and it's got the bran, and I'm vegan, and, you know, I don't understand what's going on, and I'm taking my whey protein shakes. And then I find out that they're sensitive to whey, they're sensitive to oats. And here they've been doing all of these things thinking they were healthy, plus going to Whole Foods and asking the person in the health food store supplement line, what should I take because I'm tired?
Yeah.
And getting, you know, kelp pills or something like that. And they've been making themselves worse without realizing it, because they didn't know that their particular body and situation, kelp made it worse because it was too much iodine, and they were sensitive to oats. And
So if I come into your office, how do you assess for all of that?
well, first of all, I have very intense intake forms. I mean, when you fill out my intake forms, you're going to feel like you just did a course.
White House or something.
You just finished Lessons in Myself 101,
Right.
you know, and you'll probably get an A on the paper because
Yeah.
it's 14 pages of intake forms.
Okay.
But that gives me a lot of information about a person. And then also I'm very big on lab tests. I like their perception of themselves, which is subjective, concrete objective information, which is lab tests, which I can order if they don't have them, which many times they don't. And I order them at doctor cost so we
Okay.
can get done what we need to get done, because the doctors won't run what they need. I mean, as an aside, I had somebody in my office who had kidney cancer, liver cancer. His doctor wouldn't run his liver enzymes. I said, why won't he run the liver enzymes? He asked the doctor said, well, I already know you have liver cancer. Why should I run the enzymes? It's like, well, wait a second. How about let's see if he's improving? How about let's monitor him? Anyway, they're under the thumb of the insurance companies. I get it. I have
Often,
colleagues
yeah.
who are medical
Yeah,
doctors.
yeah.
I know. So they are very chintzy with the tests. So I have tests that I can run, and then I can get a lot of information from those tests. And so I've got the subjective from the person on the intake sheets. I've got the objective from the data, any tests or blood tests or scans or anything they bring in with them, and my perception of them through testing that I do in the office.
Well, and years of experience that you have as well, you know,
Yeah.
and all the
Plus, I
training.
have little techniques that I've devised that people will say, well, what is that technique called? And I'll say, let's just call it the Michaels method,
Right,
because it's a synthesis of everything that I've learned that
Dr.
I know
Elena method.
works.
Yeah, nice.
And I can assess them and figure out what the highest priority issues are, where we should start, what their dosages of things should be, even the things they bring in with them that they're already taking,
Yeah.
how long they should take it, how much they should take. I can check different formulas, find the best formula for them. So, for example, maybe someone needs essential fatty acids because omega-3s, because they have a lot of inflammation. And we know inflammation also affects brain function. Maybe they're not thinking clearly, whatever the situation is. Maybe they have depression. And they test for needing omega-3s. I've got several different omega-3s, so I can find out, do they need one that's higher in DHA? Do they need one that's equal DHA and EPA? Do they need one that's more krill? Do they need one that's more EPA? I mean, I can find out exactly what they need, exactly what their dosage is, and it's very precise.
Well, and sometimes the simple things are the answer as well, like hydration. You know,
Yes.
sometimes we're just not drinking enough water,
Or the right
in
kind
addition.
of water.
Right.
Or the right kind of water.
Right.
I recently, of course, I'm always working on myself. You know, that's one of the beauties of being in this business, is that we have to always be working on ourselves and fine-tuning ourselves
Right.
so that we can help others. You know that. You're
Yep.
doing that.
Yep.
And I recently found out that I should be drinking the water or the ice from my wonderful new refrigerator. So I'm only drinking bottled glass water, natural spring. And I've been doing it since last April. And for me, it's improved a lot of things for me. And who would have thought? I was drinking pure water from my sink top and the ice cubes from my filtered water in my freezer that was coming out of my refrigerator, you know?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of subtleties. And basic key, drink half your body weight in ounces in water a day. Good
Right.
quality water.
Right, that's what I heard. One of the most, from a systematic viewpoint, I was at a conference one time, and there was a lady there who was giving a talk, and basically the talk was on water. It was a nutrition talk, but it was on hydration. And I got a really big idea on how systems work when she was talking about, she showed pictures of our cells. And she showed a picture of a healthy cell. It's like a big old pillow. It's beautiful, right?
Right.
And a picture of a dehydrated cell, and it was like this flat, wrinkled thing. And she said that when we don't drink enough water and our cells look like that, the body responds in a natural way by sending out histamines and coating the cell so that it doesn't lose any more liquid, right? And so we get all plugged up and we get mucus and we get all this stuff from the histamine.
That's right.
So we go to a doctor and we say, hey, I have all this going on. And they give us, rather than say drink more water, they say, here's an antihistamine.
That's right.
And so now we just cut down the very thing that's saving our cells from being even more dehydrated. And when she said that, I kind of got a picture of, oh, if we don't know that a simple thing like drinking enough water is what we need, I can do more damage by thinking I'm fixing the problem.
That's right.
Right? And when she said that, it's a very generalized statement for me to say that. It doesn't apply to everybody, but I got an idea. And she said exactly the same thing. Whatever your body weight is, half of that in ounces throughout the day.
That's right.
That's the magic formula. That's minimum. Right?
That's minimum. And coffee doesn't count, and tea doesn't count.
No, just
Starbucks
pure
doesn't
clean
count.
water.
Just
pure
the water.
clean water.
Yeah.
Yeah, pure clean water. And then she said, do this for 2 weeks. Do it religiously for 2 weeks and report back and see how you feel. And I said, well, heck, I'm going to do it, right? And in a 2-week period, I felt so much better that I've been doing it ever since.
Right.
You know, I just drink probably more water than I need to.
Well, see, another thing, too, is in my office, I do various testing that tests their electrical systems. And sometimes I can't read them, and it's because they're dehydrated. So I have water in my office, and I'll have them drink water. I'll rub a few points on their body that activate their body being able to assimilate the water quickly.
Right.
And then I can read them. But I can't read them if they're dehydrated, which is interesting because I read them electrically, and you have to have water to conduct the electricity.
Yeah. Well, you know, when we come back after this break, you mentioned body, mind, emotion, and spirit. Let's break those down and see how we can help ourselves and our clients and people listening in connecting those 4 areas and improving our lives. This is the Way Out Recovery Hour. I'm Bob Sheritz, and we will be right back.
Drugs or alcohol abuse can tear a family apart. In Santa Clarita, just like everywhere else, it's an epidemic. The Way Out Recovery is here to help. Call them now at 296-4444 or visit them on the web at thewayoutrocoveryscv.com. The Way Out offers outpatient treatment for adolescents, adults, and family members. The Way Out is compassionate, caring, professional, and confidential. You and your family don't have to suffer any longer. Call the Way Out Recovery now, 296-4444, or visit thewayoutrocoveryscv.com and make an appointment. Asking for help is the first step.
There's an important meeting you need to hold away from the office. The in-laws are coming to town.
Uh-oh.
A major client is visiting Santa Clarita. Your husband's brother is about to visit.
Oh! And his 4 kids?
La Quinta knows life in Santa Clarita can be stressful, so your guests can wake up on the bright side. Meetings can run smoothly, and even your mother-in-law will squeeze out a compliment. La Quinta Inn and Suites on the Old Road, just south of Lyons. Call about their special Santa Clarita discounts. 286-1111.
Find the perfect job for you at College of the Canyon's 2017 Job and Career Fair on the COC Valencia campus on Friday, October 6th from 9 a.m. till noon. The fair will feature businesses from a variety of industries looking to fill positions ranging from entry level to management. While at the fair, meet with employers, visit KHTS's virtual job fair, and attend one of the many career-related workshops. Bring plenty of resumes and dress to impress. Visit cocjobfair.com for more information. That's cocjobfair.com.
KHTS. We fall so hard. Now we gotta get back what we lost.
Welcome back to the Way Out Recovery Hour. I'm Bob Sheritz, and we are brought to you by the Way Out, intensive outpatient program for adolescents, adults, and their families. We're located at the corner of Plum and Bouquet Canyons, and our phone number is 661-296-4444. Please visit our incredible website at thewayoutrrecoveryscv.com. And remember that asking for help is the first step. So if you're listening to the show today and you need some help in your life, please reach out to somebody or reach out to The Way Out and get the help that you need. A very exciting show. If you're just joining us, we're in studio today with Dr. Elena Michaels, who is a holistic practitioner with, tell us again all the areas of your expertise, please.
Yeah, I'm sorry I can't narrow myself down to one category. Hey, what can I tell you?
How does it fit on your
I
card?
know.
You're
Is there
like,
enough
yes,
room on my
it
business
does.
card? Anyway, I'm a naturopathic doctor, a traditional naturopath. I'm a licensed psychotherapist in the state of California. I am a clinical hypnotherapist and former faculty member of a training facility for hypnosis. And I'm also a medical intuitive. I don't really talk about that too much. But
Okay.
I don't think I'm going to put that on my card, actually. I've had several people say, put it on your card, put it on your card. But there's only so much room, you know?
Right. It comes
I
up
need
in
my
a-
address and
in
phone
a-
number in there, too.
That's right. Yeah, you got to have a phone number on the website, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for
So,
sure.
Uh-huh.
So, just generally speaking, when we talk about holistic practices and
Mm-hmm.
holistic healing, we're really looking at 4 areas of human
Yeah,
being,
we're
right?
looking at the whole person. We're looking at the physical body, the mental function, the emotional world of the person, and their spiritual connection or lack thereof.
Right.
And all 4 of those things, in my perspective and from my orientation, need to be addressed. You can't just work on your physical body and not work on the way you think.
Yeah.
You can't just work on your emotions and be in. This is why I'm not, excuse the expression, quote unquote, just a therapist. It's not enough to just talk about it and talk about it and talk about it and talk about it. And so what, you're talking about it and you're getting it out. Yeah, that's good. But then it's out.
What do you
then
do with it?
what?
Yeah, what do you do with
Okay?
it now?
So
Yeah.
you've come into a therapy office, you vomited all this stuff out about all this trauma, and then you walk out and you're back in your life again. It's like, what? So I'm very solution focused in my work when I work with people who come in for counseling. You know, back in the day, I had them beating with batakas on the couch, screaming at their perpetrators and screaming at their mothers and their fathers and whoever it was that didn't treat them right or how they should be treated. I don't do that anymore because I don't think it's really necessary. And I don't think it's necessary to go back and dredge up every little piece of your history. Like I don't do psychoanalysis.
Right.
You know, Woody Allen's been in psychoanalysis 3 times a week for how many decades? And there you go. I mean, I love Woody Allen, but
Right.
but you know, I'm solution focused. So it's like tools, techniques. Here's what you do. Here's a little bit of homework. This is you know, kind of like, let's get
Right.
on track here. I used to be a teacher, so I taught junior high school English back in Ohio. So I have that kind of framework of let's get specific. And I like specifics. I don't like vague things like, for example, you go to the doctor and you say, well, how should I be eating? And the doctor says, eat in a variety of foods and eat healthy. Well, what?
Yeah, that's
Specifically.
right.
Not vague. Tell me exactly what to do so I can give me a structure, you know? So with the physical part, yes, we have physical bodies. We are spirits living in physical bodies. So we definitely have to address that. And I feel and I see so often that it's not being fully addressed with appropriate blood tests. I mean, very basic stuff. The blood can tell us so much about what's going on with our body that we can't see, that isn't visible. And I think it's almost criminal that thorough blood tests are not run when people come to the doctor for specific health issues and they're blown off and they're told, no, we just ran a couple tests and you're fine. Most of the people who come to my office for health issues who don't already have a diagnosis will say, I don't feel well, I went to the doctor, I was told I was fine, he or she ran the test, they said I'm normal, and I still feel like crap. And I've gone back a few times and they want me to be on antidepressants because they think I'm a hypochondriac.
right.
They're not a hypochondriac. It just wasn't looked at deeply enough. They didn't get enough information. You can't figure out what's going on with the car. If the car's not working well and you're only looking at the back left tire, you can't figure out what's going on with the car.
Yeah, we really believe strongly, and I think a lot of treatment these days is embracing the idea of systematic healing.
Yeah.
So you absolutely correct. We do that inside of a family unit. We do it. We talk about it inside of our own body system.
Right.
You can't just look at one piece. We
That's
do
right.
we do that with families. We'll get a lot of families that come in. They have their kid or
The
whoever,
kid's the problem,
and
right?
they say, "Fix my kid.
Yeah,
and
right.
we'll be back when you're done," and it doesn't work that
Hello,
way.
your kid lives in your house with you. Let's
Absolutely.
look at that.
It's a system.
Right.
It's a system, and everything affects everything else. One of the, I had a professor in my schooling who used to say, everything is everything. That was his big saying, and it's true. Everything is connected to everything else,
That's
and we
right.
can't just look at it. If somebody is to come to you and say, okay, I heard you, I heard you talk about the whole entire system and blood tests and everything like that. Here's my insurance. Here's what I'm working with. You help them navigate through all that because like you said, sometimes the insurance and coverage and all that can be
Okay,
an
that's a good
obstacle,
question.
right?
Yeah, let me address that. Anybody's insurance is not going to cover labs that I order.
Got it.
Because I'm not an MD. I'm a PhD, ND, MFT, all those letters right
Right.
there. So they will only cover the lab tests if an MD orders the lab tests. So I order the lab tests, but I order the lab tests at my contracted cost, which is most of the time less than their copayment if their doctor would order
Got
all those
it.
tests.
Yeah, got
So
it.
I order about $2,200 worth of tests. And my thorough basic panel is $340. So that's about $2,200 worth of tests. And if you had your doctor order it, which they won't do because the insurance
It would
company's
be more
breathing
than
down their necks.
$2,200 certainly, right?
Yeah, and I mean, even when I've had to pay for a couple myself that my doctor has ordered, and because there's been like a paperwork problem, and I've ended up getting the bill, I've been shocked to see what they charge for a certain test when I know what it costs me to run it
Right.
for a patient. So I pass that along to
So
them.
those same tests, you're saying $2,200 worth of tests really cost $340?
Well, that's what my cost
Right,
is.
that's
yeah,
what
right, yeah. So that's what they get that at. Whatever tests we need. Maybe they don't need that many. Maybe their doctor ran some and we just need to run a few more. Everyone's
Got it.
different. Maybe we need more than that. I don't know. And then, as far as the insurance, I took myself off all the panels in 2000, the year 2000.
Okay.
Because I was chasing the paper and chasing the payments and waiting a year to get paid. And I didn't want to do that. I wanted to work with people. That's my passion, working with people, not working with paper. So I took myself off of all the panels. However, if someone has a PPO, services with me are covered.
Right.
So I give them a super bill, they submit it, and they get paid. They get reimbursed about 10 days later after
Yep.
they submit it. So that's the easiest way to do it. The insurance companies reimburse the patient faster than they reimburse the provider.
Correct.
Yeah. And I actually am not able to get on any panels now because I don't speak various languages and whatever the reason is, So that's the way I do it. I'm happy to give people a super bill if they have a PPO. And if they have an HMO, it doesn't cover me.
Well, I tell you what, in today's world, I mean, it's wonderful to hear that your care is accessible, and it's not only accessible, but it's reasonable and accessible. Let's face it, in today's world, even if I go out and I get my own insurance and I only work with people that take my insurance, by the time I'm done with my deductibles and my copays and the premium on the insurance,
That's right.
it's going to cost me more that route than it would to go straight to you and pay whatever that cash rate is.
Well, I know that my rates for my actual service, regardless of what I do, I don't charge for the amount of people in the room. I charge for the amount of time.
Okay.
Okay. So I know that when I meet with my colleagues who are in West LA and Beverly Hills, they kind of laugh about my fees because they think my fees are way too low.
Right.
But they are what they are, and I want to be able to help people. I've been in this community for a long time, and I love this community, and I like staying in this community. I've had offers to go have an office in Beverly Hills, an office, down in various locations in West LA. I don't want to work down there. I like it here.
Right.
I like to work close to my home. I like everything accessible. I don't want to be on the freeway driving to my office. When I was driving to Sherman Oaks and living up here, I didn't like that. So I like staying here and working with people here.
Well, we certainly have a very unique and wonderful community here in front
We
of us.
do.
You hear it kind of people joke about it and almost make fun of it. The old saying about Awesome Town coming around, but it's the truth. I grew up here and I spent a lot of my life in my younger years when I was in the middle of my addiction and everything, thinking that Santa Clarita was the problem and blaming the place I stayed. Now that I'm in a recovery process and I see how many wonderful services and what a helping community it is, I wouldn't be anywhere else.
Yes.
It is really an incredible place to live.
I agree.
And if you embrace that and you're able to help people in your own community, what a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
What a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
So before we get too far along, I want to make sure that I mention that this, in a couple of weeks, on October the 11th, which is a Wednesday at 6 p.m., College of the Canyons University Center, the Diane Van Hook University Center, room 258, a free event that the Way Out and Valley Recovery are doing monthly free events. And this coming October 11th at 6 p.m., everybody is invited. Please show up. We have the one and only Dr. Elena Michaels, who's going to really give us an in-depth talk
That's right.
on the specifics of the different areas of holistic healing, right?
That's right.
Can you give us a little snapshot?
Well, we'll be talking about why it's important. We'll be talking about different areas, how important they are. We'll be talking about different aspects of our mental world and our emotional world. And I'll just give you a couple little tips right now. As far as mental mind, what we say to ourselves creates our world.
So self-talk.
Yeah, you say, I am anything, you're already in a creative mode. You're already a magician. You're already creating a world for yourself. I am. What do you say first thing in the morning when you wake up? I'm tired. I am sick of my job.
Yeah. I don't want to go to work today or whatever,
I am
right?
fed up
Oh,
with my
it's
boss.
Monday. Oh, my God.
Anything with I am in front of it is very, very powerful. I mean, think about the word I am God. Think about that. I'm not a religious person, but I'm a very spiritual person.
Got it.
So how we talk to ourselves, and I'll talk more about that on the 11th, how we talk to ourselves creates a reality, and I'll get into that a little more and how that works. As far as the emotional part, we have to be authentic. We have to be living and being true to ourselves and the way we feel. I was on the phone this morning with a friend who lives out of state, and she's been diagnosed with a heart condition. And she says she's got a business and a holistic business, and she says that she says yes to too many people because she wants to help people. Right. And I told her, no is your new yes. You have to say no. You have to learn how to say no, and it has to be okay, and you have to know how to do that in a way that protects yourself and your emotional life so that you're not being sucked dry emotionally by people around you. And there are always people who are ready to do that, so ready to suck you dry and just sap your energy.
And you see it a lot in, in people who make it their life's work to help others.
Oh, yeah.
Oftentimes get so caught up in, I think it's been compassion fatigue.
Yes,
I've heard that.
absolutely.
Right? And a wonderful thing that I heard someone say one time, which is the same thing, is no is a complete sentence.
Yeah, yeah. I can't do that right now. I have another commitment. I'm sorry. I'd love to be able to help you, but I've got another commitment.
Well, and it goes back to self-care.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is really what we're talking about today.
And
is
self-care, by the way, is something that is often neglected in people who are using. Yeah. They're not taking care of themselves. And I'll talk more about that on the 11th also, and different things about that and how that plays out in our lives and our world. And the spiritual part, so physical, mental, emotional, spiritual part, if you don't have some kind of connection to something greater than yourself, life is pretty darn meaningless.
Right.
Because it doesn't make sense to you why things happen. You can't find the good in things because you're focusing on the bad things that happen and why are bad things happening. And there can't be a higher power, and there can't be a universal energy, and there can't be a God or a Jesus or anything else, because how would these bad things be happening? But we're here to learn, and we're here to refine ourselves. So our job is to always look for the positive. There is always a lesson there. There's always a light at the end of the tunnel. And a lot of times when people are using and they're in chemical dependency or alcohol addiction, they don't have that light isn't on for them. They don't have that connection. It just seems futile and hopeless. And that's where people get suicidal. They just don't want to go on anymore because what's the point? There is nothing to salvage here. If this is the way my life is going to be, I feel crappy. My relationships are gone because I've been using or whatever. I don't have a job anymore. I got fired, or I did this horrible thing and I got caught, and now everybody hates me. I have no friends, and it becomes darker and darker and darker. So yes, it's important to share what those things were that happened and led the person to that place, but also to reconnect them. That higher self is always there. It's just hanging around waiting for you to connect with it.
Well, and it is absolutely possible. You know, I think it was the work of Viktor Frankl that
That's
said,
right.
meaning, purpose, and value. It
That's
is
right.
absolutely possible to find value in even the things that seem horrific.
That's right.
you
That's
know?
right.
And if we can find the value and the purpose in the scars that we have, and be
That's
able
right.
to share those with others and help others, that it becomes, not only do we own our story, but we become okay in telling it the way that it is, being authentic,
And
right?
moving on from our story,
Yeah.
not just being identified by, oh, I am this,
Right.
or
I'm a victim of.
yeah, I'm a
right?
victim of. No, I'm a survivor of, and I have this whole other life after that.
right.
This other thing that is this blossom that I've become after that thing that I was. You know, it's kind of like I'm an advanced stage cancer survivor, so it's kind of like, yeah, I had cancer. I had advanced stage cancer. Yeah, I'm not supposed to be here. I beat the odds. Yeah, but I'm so much more than just an advanced stage cancer survivor. You know, there's a whole other life. I remember my oncologist said to me, he said, Elena, you're going to live from this because of who you are. You're going to beat the odds. And this is just going to be like a dream that happened a long time ago as you move on in your life. And I thought, easy for you to say, you're not in it, you know?
Right.
But actually, he was right. He was right. It's just a part of something. It was something that happened in the past. I'll never forget it. It's part of who I am. But I'm so much more than that thing. And someone who is coming through recovery and moving through that is so much more than just a person who was using, or a person who was a victim of incest or family trauma or domestic abuse or violence. They are so much more than that. That was just one little facet of the beautiful diamond that they are.
Well, and talk about the connection between the different areas of our lives. If I am mindful to the experience that I'm having, whatever label I want to put on it, good or bad, right? I put that label on. It doesn't have to be either one of those things. But if I'm mindful for that experience, in the middle of that, I can become so much closer to whatever I think is running the universe, whatever my higher power is. Like in the middle of those things that seem like, oh my God, this is the end of the world, I'll never get through it. If I'm present for that experience, it can become one of the greatest experiences of my life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's the perception. Our perception changes everything. If you are wearing glasses with blue lenses, everything looks blue.
Right.
If you are wearing glasses that have rose-colored lenses, everything looks beautifully rosy.
Yeah.
So it's how you see the world and how you look through the world based upon the grid and the blueprint of what's been imprinted in your brain from your own experience and possibly even before you came into this body.
I found myself fortunate enough to be in a position of being the boss a couple of times in the last 10 years, where I'm program director or whatever, which just means that I have other employees underneath me that I am training and I'm helping sort through stuff. And when they come to me with issues, I remember the last couple of years, kind of my go-to is, let's sit down and look at this, and because what a wonderful opportunity we have in front of us for personal growth. And they're like, wonderful opportunity, I got this big problem. And I said, no, let's take a step back. And I almost used to get like sort of clowned over that. They'd come and go, oh, tell us about your wonderful opportunity, Bob, and this big problem right here. I'm like, it really is, right? And now they laugh about it, because I know some of the people that we went through this process together where it was a difficult time, right? And I would always say that, and now they go, hey, Bob, help me see how it's a wonderful opportunity, right? It doesn't have to be a problem. It doesn't have to be a problem. It's an opportunity for growth.
Right, right.
And that's just taking off one set of glasses and putting on a different one, right?
And that's what we're here for. That's why we are here in these bodies living on this planet at this time. We're here to learn. We're here to navigate. We're here to master ourselves, regardless of what the appearance of the outer world of illusion seemed to be.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for.
Yep.
And to help each other.
Yeah.
To help each other through it. We are all one to help each other through it. I don't want to get too airy-fairy here, but really, we are.
Well, but that's the connection, right? That's our purpose, you know. And my friend Jack Brown used to say that the quality of my life does not have to be dependent upon anything else. The quality of my life, and that's just it's a lesson in perception, right?
Right.
It's a lesson in how I want to view it. So,
Right.
when we come back, we will wrap all of this up. What a wonderful discussion we are having. This is the Way Out Recovery Hour. We'll be back in a few minutes.
It's here. Six Flags Fright Fest, presented by Snickers. The biggest and most terrifying event, with thrills by day, fright by night, and the scariest coasters in the dark. It's the first ever Fright Fest opening sale. Now for a limited time, save 40% on daily admission. Online only at sixflags.com. Don't miss your chance to save 40% on tickets when you buy and visit by October 1st.
There are fun kids events at the Church on the Way Santa Clarita. 2 to 5-year-olds meet at the Arc Room on Fridays for toddler exercise time. New moms come to the Church on the Way Santa Clarita on Tuesdays for new, free Moms Fellowship. Support, friendship, and social events for moms and their babies. Visit tcotwsc.org for these and other exciting events at the Church on the Way Santa Clarita on Cinema Drive, or call 291-6000.
The Santa Clarita Artists Association is hosting our annual gala, The Art Classic, Saturday, October 15th from 1:30 to 5 p.m. This fundraiser highlights professionally judged original artwork by local artists in all mediums. For only $25, you can enjoy live music, wine, hors d'oeuvres, and meet the artists in person. The Art Classic will be held at Hart Hall in Hart Park. All artwork will be on display for free public viewing Sunday, October 16th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. For tickets and more information, visit us at santaclaritaartist.org.
Hometown.
I wanted to let you know that I really appreciate the way you guys do what you do.
Your hometown station.
We fall so hard, now we gotta get back up. We lost.
Welcome back to the Way Out Recovery Hour. We are the Way Out Intensive Outpatient. Remember that asking for help is the first step. If you are having trouble in your life, please reach out to somebody. You can always reach us at 661-296-4444, or you can message us on our website at thewayoutrocoveryscv.com. What a wonderful show we've had today. I love when every guest that we have is, we have them on the show because they're great people, and we want to, provide that for our community. But when I get to have somebody in the studio that I really, really believe in the practices that you are out there providing to our community, I just love it, because you're talking my language here, and it's really, really cool stuff, because that's what I try to get across, is there are ways for us to heal ourselves that take a little bit of work, but they are so much more rewarding.
And the work can be fun. See, work has a bad connotation.
Right.
It's like, oh, work, who wants to do work? But working on yourself can be fun, even though you might have grown up in a family where working on yourself was considered selfish.
Right.
A lot of people grow up in a family where, you're focusing on yourself, huh?
Right.
That's not cool. What about everybody else? So, but in the field that we're in, which is the field of helping people, we have to work on ourselves. If we're not clear, we're not helping anybody, because our own crap is all over the situation and contaminating it, so we can't even be clear and authentic enough to help the person in front of us. Yeah. So we must always be working on ourselves.
So if you liked what you heard today and are interested in learning more, absolutely show up on October the 11th at the Dr. Diane Van Hook University Center, room 258 at College of the Canyons, Valencia campus, 6 p.m., free event for everyone. Dr. Elena Michaels will be there talking about holistic approaches to healing and recovery. And if you would like to access services by Dr. Elena, tell us how we can get a hold of you.
I'd be happy to. My office is on Smythe Drive. I've been working in Santa Clarita since 1991. I've been on Smythe Drive for the last 9 years. That's that little street where Valencia High School is, between Dickinson and Copper Hill. And my website is drelena.com, drelena.com. I'm on Facebook, Dr. Elena Michaels. I'm on Instagram. And also, I'm on the web, drelena.com. And my phone number is 661-250-4395. 661-250-4395. I just want to mention something. If you send me an email, this goes for you, Bob, too. If you send me an email and I don't respond to it, it means I didn't see it. I have way too many emails in my inbox right now, so I miss them sometimes. So
pick up the phone.
Pick up the phone. You can call that
Right.
number 24/7. I probably won't answer it because you can leave a detailed message. It's private. Nobody gets the message but me. And if you want to send me an email, that's fine. Call me and leave me a message and tell me, sent you a long email if someone who wants to come in and see me or ask me a question or something. Phone is the best. 661-250-4395.
250-4395.
Yeah, and it's on my website. It's on every page of my website, which is drelena.com.
drelena.com. We can spend a lot of time trying to find somebody to help us heal and bouncing around in doctors and trying to find the right person. And you are sitting right here in the community. And I can tell you, if you're out there struggling, contact Dr. Elena Michaels and get a consultation and see if maybe she can help you, because this is the way to go. Maybe you need medication, maybe you need some different stuff, maybe you have some different diagnosis. But to take care of yourselves in a holistic fashion, body, mind, emotion, and spirit, all simultaneously with proven practices, will improve your life, even if you have a diagnosis that is going to stick with you and you need medical care.
Right.
You're still going to improve other areas of your life.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong.
And yeah, like I said before, I'm not against traditional medical care. I think it's very valuable and very important. And make referrals when necessary to where they need to go. There's a big team of people out here that can be helpful. That's the key, a big team.
Right.
The person is not going through it alone.
Yeah. So we coordinate care with each other. What a pleasure. I wish we had another hour. We could sit here and talk about it more. We will have you on the show again, and we'll see you on October 11th. I'm really looking forward to the presentation that you're going to put on for us at the University Center. And so we're inviting the public to be there. We hope a lot of people show up because this is invaluable information. And we're going to give it away for free.
Yeah. And I think you're going to have snacks there too, aren't you?
Light snacks provided.
There you go.
That's right.
Well, who can say no, right?
That's right.
Thanks a lot, Bob.
All right. This is the Way Out Recovery Hour. I'm Bob Sheritz, Program Director of the Way Out. Please contact us if you need help. 661-296-4444. And we will see everyone again next Monday.
1, 2. Now.